Greetings, greetings, greetings. We shall wait for David Gonzalez. Welcome, everybody. As you come in, whenever you come in, let's have a drink while we're waiting. Hey, Justin, good to see you. How are you, sir? Hope you're doing well this evening. Big Red Dog, hello. Hey, Andre, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Let's see if I can invite David. Hey, Razor Company, good to see you. Hello, everyone. Let's see. Go live with, and he's not there yet. We shall await David Gonzalez. Hey, Claudio, good to see you, man. Looking forward to this. I'm doing well. Hold on just a second. Let's see if David is available yet. I do not see him. Hey, Quest, good to see you. Great to see everybody, in fact. Sorry, the voice is a little off today. I'm doing great. We'll talk about your drop tomorrow, Andre. Hello, James. All right, let's see if David is around. Not yet. Let's see. Nope, not yet. We'll wait. He's probably fooling around. Let's see who else. Hey, Kali's Groom Room. Dave, how are you, sir? Hope you're doing great. Hope everyone's doing great this Friday. Sorry about the voice again. It's a little rough. Hello, Mr. Pearson. Hello, Shave326. Raza. All right, let's see. There he is. We'll see if we get connected up here. Waiting for David, it says. Fooling around on the grill. Awesome. What are you drinking? This is just Yingling. We're waiting for SoSharpDavid, it says. So I don't know what's going on there. Tim, how you doing? Yeah, I approved it. It says it's waiting for you, but sorry, folks. I'm trying to get David in here. It says it's waiting for him. Chief, what's going on? Oh, let's try that again. I'll just add him and try it that way. Hey, Rich, good to see you. Hope everything is well. There we go. Finally. How we doing? Can you hear me?
I'm good. How's everybody going? Oh, yeah, I got you. You hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you well. We've got a number of people joining there. First, I want to say thank you to the Chief for being a good sport in this little rivalry that we have created here. So thank you, Chief. And for anybody who sees the series of videos, just know we're having fun. So don't take it seriously, please. Are we ready to go?
Oh, I'm ready to go, man. It's hot as shit.
Okay. First, let's just establish some ground rules here.
Oh, I don't like rules, dude. I'm really bad with authority. I really struggle with authority.
When we do these sort of videos, it's never to attack anyone personally. It's never to hurt anyone's business. It's just to raise the issues of the week or the last couple of weeks and discuss them and maybe possible solutions. No one's looking to hurt anybody. No one's looking to cause a ruckus or problems. At least that's my perspective. How do you feel about that? Is that your point of view?
I never want to personally attack anybody. With that being said, if you do some bitch shit, if you act like an asshole, I have no problem calling that out. And just let's face it, if you're acting like an asshole, that's your personality shining through whatever the scenario is. So it's hard to separate the business and the personal side. But when you're acting like a dick, you got to be called out for it. Unfortunately, it reflects bad on your business. But if you're an asshole, you're an asshole.
Okay. Let's not start with the heaviest one first. Let's start with an easy one. And I got a whole card of stuff here. We hear a lot about skin food. That's all I hear now. Skin food, and butters and all this stuff as it applies to aftershaves in particular. Now, for me, I find that if I get too much of that, it's counterproductive for me. So my skin will get super oily and it will break out. So for me, when I put on in one of those aftershaves that has all the extra skin food, if it feels real oily, a lot of times I'll take it off.
because it causes issues for me. So for me, I like to use witch hazel and an alcohol-based aftershave with witch hazel a lot of times, and that works great. How do you feel? Can you go too far with skin food?
Whether it has a legitimate negative effect, I'm not a chemist. I don't know how the body works in that sense. But for me, if something is too extra conditioning, the oils are a little too heavy, it makes me very uncomfortable. It feels gross to me. So it leaves me
Sure.
uncomfortable.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah, so
that's
that's
what
the big
happens
thing
to
for
me
me.
is if I put one of the non-alcohol based aftershaves on that's heavy with oils and it feels super tacky, usually a little while afterwards, my skin, it'll look like I put baby oil all over my face, and then it feels real heavy and gross. And so I think it's important to have a variety, because some people with super dry skin, I imagine they can benefit from that. But I don't think every aftershave and every type of skin food works best across the board for everybody. At least that's my experience.
One thing that I do enjoy some of that skin food, like I believe Zingari has that rescue potion. One thing I do appreciate that is I like using it with, say, like the cheap old school aftershaves like Aquavelva. Aquavelva has not a single good
Right.
ingredient in that motherfucker. It's just alcohol and a scent that I love. So I do enjoy a couple of those drops of that rescue potion to help that just become more closer to a standard artisan aftershave that has some good stuff in it without being ridiculous.
Right.
Aside from that, I would never dream of adding it to a bomb or adding it to an already good artisan product.
Next question. Next question. Are we making lathering, I should say, too complicated with the high structure, the low structure, the medium structure, the unstructured, the above structure, the structured, are we getting, and when I say that, keep in mind, I'm coming from the context of assuming that new people are going to be watching. And so they won't have any idea what we're talking about. Are we perhaps making it too complex and too hard to sort of understand what's going on?
The word that I like to use with it, I think it's a little bit intimidating. I
Hmm.
get a lot of people still to this day, people that have followed me for years on YouTube asking for lathering tutorials. So lathering can be scary for people, or some people
It's true.
are still not, it's not clicking with people. So when we start adding terminology that they don't get, it makes it more confusing and more intimidating, and I think it can be a little overwhelming. And so it's kind of hard to start introducing those new terms or phrases without having to say it every video, or it becomes a bit much. So I think it's intimidating is the best word that I like to think of.
Well, that brings up a follow-up question. Should we be doing more explaining as we're going? When we say low structure lather or high structure, should we then explain sort of what that means and what the differences are? Because sometimes I think we assume, all of us have been doing it for a while, we'll make assumptions. And just about every day I'll get comments, emails, Facebook messages to IAMCDB with people with lathering problems. They don't know what X or Y mean. Should we try to do a little better job explaining?
That's kind of a little bit of a Pandora's box, I think, depending on who the YouTuber or content creator is, because having to explain every detail, every video can get very tedious. Me, for one, I try to keep things simple because I don't like explaining in detail like that. That's not really what my content is tailored for. I
Hmm.
definitely can get into detail, and I can do videos here and there explaining a certain topic that somebody wants to hear about. But if I had to do that type of structure and that type of detail every video, that gets boring for me, and that kind of takes away from my enjoyment.
Right, that makes sense to me. Let me ask you another question, and we can put this to the audience as well. What what information do we need on soap labels? Because I've seen soaps this week or this past few weeks. Some of them don't have how many ounces. Some of them sometimes don't even have the ingredients. Most of them don't have the base. Now, I am seeing some artisans are starting to include the base. I think that's helpful information. What, in your mind, belongs on the label that would be the most helpful for the consumer?
Well, first and foremost, the ingredients got to be in there, and I think it's important to have it in the order in which the like what ingredient is the most of in the soap. I think that's important. That's relevant. If you're a soap
Okay.
company that has multiple bases, then you need to have the base on the labels. And I think the ounces kind of needs to be a given. That should be an industry standard. I think those three things should be an industry standard. Now, in terms of the base, if a company only offers one base now, then I don't feel that that's necessary.
The problem is, I think, when you have artisans who re-release soaps, if they've gone to one base now, but there are previous soaps out there of the former base, and it just becomes problematic trying to figure out what you have, because understanding that things do move around. For me, I like the notes being on there, and I understand that's not always doable. It's not as important, but definitely the ingredients, the base is really helpful in today's world where they're reformulating a lot. The number of ounces and some of the other things you mentioned. I would love to see artisans putting the base on the label if they offer more than one base, or they're on like version 5 now. Because
Yeah,
when
like
you
the
get one
Murphy.
now, go ahead, please.
Yeah, Murphy Egg McNeil. I think they offer like three bases, and I had the one that I bought off the Chief. It's I think it was the duck fat one. I have no idea to this day what that base is called, but it was the duck fat base. So it's really important for somebody that offers three different bases. They know which one's which.
So today I used Holy Cow. I can't think of the name of the soap off the top of my head. Fern Concerto, maybe. And I have no idea what the base was, so I assume it's their latest. I don't know that. I don't know the name of the base. And so that's one of those situations where I think it would be helpful to know. That's my perspective on that. I want to make a public service announcement here. For those of you who have been trying to chase down one of those Lancaster towels, the towels drop tomorrow at 3 p.m. at Lancaster Razor Works. I'm just doing that as a public service announcement. I don't get anything out of it. I will be in the hunt for one myself because I'm looking for a blue one. But I just wanted to let you all know tomorrow, 3 p.m., Lancaster Razor Works, if you're after a towel. And he's got some brushes, maybe some bowls. I don't know what all he's dropping tomorrow, but it's a pretty significant drop. You have any interest in any of that?
I'm looking forward to it. He had a particular green. It was like a kind of like a green or jade color with a ivory top. I really actually want that one. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. I might sell a brush or something so I could kind of balance out the money on that. But I really, really like that brush. Yeah, it was like a jade or some kind of greenish color, light green, with that ivory top that would just look amazing. And I really enjoy his particular badge knot.
So one of the other things that's been talked about a little bit recently is Inspired by Scents. And we're not going to discuss whether or not they're good or bad because I think there's room for everything. But one of the things that's come up recently is occasionally you will encounter an inspired by fragrance, but there's no mention of the fact that it's an inspired by fragrance on the website or on the tub. And I certainly don't think you need to put it on the tub. How do you feel about artisans who release soaps and there's no mention of what it's inspired by? Now, I understand that in some cases there may be some legalities that they have to be careful about. Maybe mentioning a particular name could get them in trouble. But as a consumer, it would help me a great deal if I knew what a particular soap was inspired by. Like if it's Green Irish Tweed, I would love to know that rather than try to ferret out through the notes.
Yeah, I do prefer when they have in their marketing, whether it be on what they're posting on Instagram or at bare minimum on their website in the description when you're purchasing, what it is inspired by, if in fact it is a version or something to have to do with a particular scent.
So another little public service announcement I just want to make is Todd from Take Care Man, formerly known as Elmer Fudd, has started a series of videos for around men's health, depression, just general well-being. If anyone needs help, if anyone is struggling with depression, if anyone are right now going through a tough time looking to talk, please go to Take Care Man, his channel. He made a video recently where he's talking about how to get help. He's created a Facebook group where people can come in there and sort of, talk to one another. So please reach out. Please go watch that video. I know there's a lot of people struggling right now due to the Rona. People have had losses. People have lost their jobs. People are having all sorts of trouble. It's stressing people out. a lot. Being home, people are on each other's nerves, and it's creating a lot of problems. And Todd, I just wanted to thank Todd for making himself available and putting that together, because I know a lot of people need help right now. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I appreciate what he's doing. It's very important. As men, we struggle to talk about how we're feeling, what we're thinking, and we struggle with that a lot. It's a very machismo society that many of us grew up in, so it's hard. So I really appreciate what Take Care Man Elmer Fudd is doing. Um, it's just cool, man. It's time that we start breaking those ugly cycles and start helping each other out, man, because we need it.
Yeah, I agree. So this week we've seen a couple of artisans expressing displeasure with their customers, and we're not going to get to flipping just yet. But earlier in the week, we saw one artisan, basically saying, if you don't want to, if you're not patient and you don't like it, go somewhere else. Go somewhere else and go pound sand. And I imagine it's a very frustrating thing to be an artisan and listen to the constant complaining. We are a very, very demanding group. How do you feel about when artisans sort of lash out at their customers, understanding that they're human beings too, that they're under maximum stress? They face the same challenges that all of us do.
Well, lash out. Go ahead and lash out. Lash out at home. Don't do that shit publicly. It's one thing to do a general message. It's another thing to single somebody in particular out. There was a couple incidences this week. I don't know if you're trying to avoid mentioning the names of who did what, but the big differences was one was done in a public forum,
Yeah.
and it singled somebody out. In one was more of a private group scenario. Those particular people that belong to a group. I'm not particularly fond of either, but at least this one, where it's a private group and a private little family, that doesn't offend me so much. If you're going to publicly shame and attack a singular person, that bothers me. That's a bitch move, and it bugs me.
So on that note, one of the issues that became a very hot topic probably a couple of weeks ago was flipping, and that is buying something, and I'm going to assume that a lot of people who buy these really hard to get sets are really looking to use them, and then they don't like them, and they realize there's demand for them, and so they price them for profit. Now, my personal feelings about flipping is it's not something that I do, because I'm not really here to profiteer in that regard. I get support just to try to keep the channel going, but I'm not looking to sell products beyond what I paid for them. So for me, I'm not a flipper, and it's nothing that I would do. However, I think, first of all, can we both agree that people have the right to sell something that they've purchased and that they own outright, period? They have the right to do it.
I absolutely agree with it. I totally believe you paid it. You can do whatever the fuck you want with it. There was a time where you got pissed off at a certain company and threw some soaps and some bamboo. I had no fucking problem with that at all. You paid that money. Some of those soaps would I like to have used? Absolutely. But with that being said, you paid the money. You do what the fuck you want with them, dude. That is absolutely your right.
Right. I would agree. They absolutely have the right. And for what it's worth, I don't condemn people who flip. I think it's their business. I don't have to buy it. It's not, I'm not in it. So it doesn't
I
really
won't participate in it. Yeah, with that being said, I won't participate in it. I'm not a fan. I don't support price gouging. I don't like that. I don't like the concept of it all, but I'm fine with people doing it. It's just a personal choice that I won't take part in.
So what we saw as a result of that was an artisan who sort of stepped out. And let me just say this to begin with. The artisans have every right to do business the way they see fit, whether they're releasing a ton of stuff or a little bit of stuff. I support the artisans' right to do business however they want, anytime, all the time. I can then make a choice on whether or not I'm going to buy from them. I can support whomever I want to. So I support the artisans' right to do whatever they want. If they want to do really small quantity drops, and a lot of people can't get them, it's not for me, but I don't condemn them for it. Now, that said, when you do those sort of things where you drop relatively limited releases, knowing the sort of hobby we have, where we talk about the conditions, red, sad, bad, where people feel they need to buy all these things. When you have a limited drop, it's going to drive demand. You know, the laws of supply and demand do apply. So what we saw this week was an artisan who got upset with the flipping, and he spoke out, and he basically said, you guys need to handle this. And he did single out a customer. Now, for me, that's the part I didn't like. I think artisans can speak out just like we can. They have every right to do so. But when you put a customer out there and sort of, he posted him up like, this is what's wrong with the community. At that point, I don't particularly like that personally. However, I feel the artisan has the right to do it, and then people can speak with their wallets if they so choose. I just don't like the idea that you put a customer up there. So, and the reason why is we have plenty of people who will carry water for the artisans and who will, you know, talk day and night about how great people are. And there are flat out zealots who are all into the zealotry over these artisans. But who advocates for the consumers? Who speaks for the people who are spending the money? Because we're the ones buying the product. So for me, the only part that I found unsavory was the fact that we called or that a customer was called out and basically put him on blast to say, this guy is the problem. This guy is the problem. Now, when we talk about solutions, it's not easy necessarily because I'm not making soap, but it's a supply problem. So the solution would be make more and satisfy the demand, because the companies that make enough don't have this problem. And I would also note, we went through this, 6-7 years ago with some other companies, and they made these really limited releases and people got very upset. And we're kind of repeating history. Those artisans at the time stopped doing it, and they just realized, they started pre-ordering. They started doing all sorts of creative ways of sort of handling it. To me, if you don't want people flipping, make more soap and tamp down that demand. I realize also at the same time, it's not necessarily easy to do that if you're a limited artisan and you don't do it full time. So I do see all points of view on this. But I thought the part about hanging the customer out there and saying, this guy is the problem. You guys need to handle this. It was almost as if that customer was put out there like somebody posted a wanted sign on the saloon and said
he was requesting a public lynching of this guy of this shaver. And the fucking balls on, and again, everybody, if you're looking at the comments, everybody knows who the fuck we're talking about, is Mammoth Soap. You're being real careful not saying it. I'll go ahead and say it. And it was just a bitch move, and the balls on this guy to be upset at an issue that he is directly creating. He is producing 150 soaps to 200 soaps. There's fucking probably 40,000 wet shavers around the world. There's no, what do you think is going to happen? And for you to call somebody out is something that you are absolutely fucking, you are the direct cause. This is your fault, Mammoth. I'm sorry. You don't have to like it. You can feel however the fuck you want to feel about what I'm saying, but the fucking nerve you are, that's like you get pissed off at your wife because she doesn't want you cheating on her. Like, what kind of stupid shit is that? You're fucking, you're doing this, dude. Like, it just doesn't make no sense to me, dude. It's just the fucking nerve this guy had to do that to a customer, a shaver, one of our colleagues, I like to call him, because we're all in this together, dude. And he just did a bitch thing. And that's the culture problem we have in shaving. We have such fucking zealotry for the artisans. They feel that fucking empowered that they will disrespect their customer base that severely. They will put up a big middle finger and say, fuck you, to somebody that gave them their money. He paid for that soap. And
right.
Some of the artisans are using their fan base as a crutch to be able to behave badly. Fuck that. That's bullshit.
Well, to play devil's advocate, here you have a part-time artisan who doesn't produce huge batches. He drops them, whenever time permits, because I understand. I don't know him personally, and so I'm speaking as someone who's never used those soaps and don't know him. But I have heard from other people that small shop, he does it part-time. And part of his argument is, hey, I'm doing it as a hobbyist. I'm not a full-time artisan in here. I'm just doing what I can. What does that change things for you?
No, it doesn't. Because personally, I wouldn't care if he literally released 10 soaps a month. But as long as he kept producing that soap to give other people the opportunity to do it. I had an issue with this from the very beginning. I had the opportunity to be able to buy the soap. I'm not working right now. I've been very open with that. I have all day to fuck around if I wanted to. I could have tried to buy the soap. I didn't even attempt to. Would I have liked the soap eventually? Yes, but I don't like to take part on these limited ass releases because I think I used the example last time when we talked about this. Somebody like Melly Mel from BBS Live, he's
Mm-hmm.
a nurse. He doesn't have the fucking time to stop what the fuck he's doing from helping. He's actually in the unit that's helping coronavirus fucking people to go to push refresh on a fucking computer and get the soap. I don't like a system or a company that does business that a dude like him, a cool motherfucker like that, has absolutely no chance, no opportunity to get your product. It just
But
sucks.
again, would we be fair to say that once again, Mammoth has, now that you've named Mammoth has every right to do business however they see fit. Yes.
They absolutely have right to do it,
And
and as the consumer, I have the absolute right not to support that business model. He
and
absolutely has the right. I have no problem with it. Well, I do have a problem with it, but he has the absolute right.
and flippers have every right to flip if they so choose, right? We're agreeing on those things. Is
Yes,
that yes?
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah, the way I look at it is the only thing to me that's unsavory is putting the customer on blast. And it was like I said, apart from that, I think Mammoth has the right to do it however they want. And then we can sort of decide with our dollars. Mammoth doesn't owe us anything. We're just consumers. We can buy, we can not buy, or we can get a book like this. There's 10 soap recipes in here, and we can make our own soap. I mean, if it gets too, look, let's be honest. I got a lifetime supply of soap back there, and if it gets too tough, I can just make my own. It is not beyond my ability to do so, but we enjoy supporting artisans. We enjoy trying new things. It is a hobby. It's one of those things I think we have to keep in perspective. And what I think happens sometimes, and I have been guilty of this in the past, the things that I regret most that I have done in the past is being personal and saying things that were personal and not talking about the business or the hobby. So in this case, we're talking about, to me, a customer being put on blast. I don't like that practice. I don't know.
It's
Ben,
it's a personal attack because that's a
right, I do.
personal attack, and
Right,
that's where it goes too far. It can't be allowed.
right. Personally, I don't like that. However, I don't know Ben from Mammoth. The only conversation I've ever had with him was I asked him if he was going to release more of the last release, and he said no. He was perfectly polite. And so, my judgment is that let's not put each other on blast that way. I just don't think that's a good practice. That's the part that I take issue with. Apart from that, Mammoth can do business any way they see fit. And, folks are going to support Mammoth. Some people will be upset and they won't. And, the chips will fall where they may. Do you have anything
It's just
else
one
to
of
add?
those it's one of those situations, man. And this is kind of a byproduct of so much of our hobby taking place online.
Mm-hmm.
We
It's
forget
true.
that the things that we say and do can have real life ramifications and consequences.
That's true.
I don't know Ben, but would he have said that shit to the person he called out in person with the risk of getting punched in the mouth?
I don't know.
That's the kind of stuff. I say a lot of crazy shit online. A lot of people watch my YouTube. I say a bunch of crazy shit. I say whatever the hell I want with the knowledge that I'm going to take part in meetups. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna be in every meetup I can get to that's within my reach.
Right.
So what I say, I am willing to take the consequences of the shit that I say in real life. And I don't think a lot of people really have that concept in their head that, oh shit, I'm saying some crazy shit and I probably want to do that in person. That makes you a punk. I don't know him, but what he did, that's my only experience with him, is him personally, and that was a bitch move. And I cannot appreciate it. I can't respect that. And I think we need to be mindful that the shit that we say can have real life consequences. Because eventually, if you're in this hobby for an extended period of time, you're going to run into some of these people. And some of these people are going to have some words for you. Because
Well,
I've already been there, done that.
I think also we have to realize we need to de-escalate a little bit because it's a hobby. You know, these are not life and death choices that we're making. These are not medications or things that we urgently need. These are just things that bring a little joy to our lives. And so I think sometimes it's best just to not get so spun up. Again, in the past, the mistakes that I have made personally, I have allowed the hobby to get me spun up. And I think everybody should take a step back and just think about it and go, you know, what does this mean in the overall scheme of things? It's a soap. You know, it's a soap. It doesn't really matter if you get it or not. I do you know, I'm one of these people who want everybody to get a chance to participate. So I don't like when people are left out personally, but I'm not going to condemn companies who choose to do business that way. I just will or will not purchase. I'll make my decision with my dollars. And ultimately, I think people should just vote with their dollars. You know,
Yeah,
that's the way I see it.
absolutely. One thing, I'm generally not an emotional guy. When I explain stuff or I start talking about it, because I'm very expressive and I move my hands around, people think I'm more emotional about a subject than I'm not. I'm never upset. I don't get upset. I don't lose my cool like that. But simply, if somebody's being disrespectful, they're being disrespectful. The shaving stuff doesn't bother me. I don't give a shit about the type of soap people use, the razors, how people are conducting business. When you're disrespectful, it rubs me the wrong way because I wasn't raised to be that way, nor was I raised to accept people being disrespectful. So
Let
those are
me
the kind of stuff that genuinely get a reaction from.
let me ask you a question that's a hot topic right now. How do you feel about the influx of candles in our domain, or mandals, as Ken Klitschko says? Mandals, as Ken Klitschko says.
I support anybody that likes candles. I like things that smell nice. I with that being said, I don't have a fucking single candle that doesn't have a religious symbol on it in the house. So I
Yeah,
don't mind when the wife brings them home, but I don't think ever in my life have I purchased a nice smelling candle. The wife does, and I don't mind it at all. It's quite nice, but I never have ever.
now, do you think artisans will soon get into the mandal game? Do you think there's a market there that's going to be robust enough?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Especially when you get
Marion the Barbarian. Marion the
uh,
Barbarian says I have one coming, by the way.
a bunch of us being a bunch of jerk offs talking them on YouTube videos, it'll definitely create a hype. Oh, and just lastly, I know you're trying to make it lighter. I also don't appreciate uh, us being provoked as content creators. Um, don't think that didn't go unnoticed. All of us that are content creators, we talk. And that's
I
why I just
just
decided to say, I said Mammoth's name because they're directly taking shots at content creators. So
Well,
if you're going to push the issue, then again, I could do it too. I don't give a fuck.
the way I look at that is we talk, and everyone else, the artisans have every right to get out there and speak their mind as well. And then ultimately, you know, we should try to have fun and enjoy primarily. I try not to be triggered by stuff like that. And I just look at it, I kind of laugh and go, that's some guy, you know, it's pretty funny that, no, we're not accustomed to that sort of thing. But, you know, if you speak, you should expect people are also going to speak their mind. The one thing that I don't like in this hobby is anonymity. So I'm here as a known individual, and I'm going to speak with people knowing who I am. And so therefore, if they have a problem with me, they can reach out to me and we can discuss. The only thing I don't like about this hobby is sometimes people are anonymous and they do a lot of, you know, crap talking and things like that. Apart from that, I say everybody has a voice. It's completely up to you to use it however you see fit. I got a chuckle at it. I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah, it just you know, it didn't go unnoticed, man. And there's no reason for me to shy away from them if they're directly coming at us. It may not have been directed towards me specifically.
Right.
I don't care though, dude. As content creators, we have to take a lot of heat at certain times. And so I'm going to have people's backs, other creators, as much as I possibly can. So I'm going to go ahead and address the issue. And again, am I emotional about it? Am I going to lose sleep? Am I going to start beating my dogs because I'm upset because Mammoth posted some shit on their fucking Instagram story? No. But just know it was noticed.
Let's get into another hot topic that's cropped up this past week. or so, and I hope the chief is here. And again, I want to caveat, we're having fun. No one should be taking this stuff so seriously where they're triggered, they're upset, they're making threats, they're worried about anything like that. This is just fun. So what we saw a few days ago, maybe 4 or 5 days ago, we saw the chief do a video, and he was using a Zingari soap, I think, which we all agree. The chief is watching, and he said, "Mr. Seahorse." Go check out that meme if you haven't seen it. It's pretty fun. Anyway, the chief was using a Zingari soap, which is a very good soap. I think we would all agree with that. And he said during the course of the video that, "I feel like I can get away with things because this soap is so good and it's so protective that it gives me liberties." And then he proceeded to cut himself a number of times.
Oh, he chopped himself to bits.
So
he gave it to himself, that video.
So it didn't really afford him the protection that he was talking about. But I think his point of view is, and in fact, I know it because he made a video today, which I hope you guys will watch. His point of view is you can buy soaps that are of higher quality and get more protection, therefore giving you a little more leeway. I'll let you talk and then I'll give my opinion. Go ahead.
Oh, dude, I'm sorry. I just got so distracted because the comments in this
It'll be fun.
in this episode has been fantastic.
Have to go back and read the
oh, dude, it's been great. Look at man, I commented on Chief's video after he did the butter shake.
By the way.
Aquaman.
The Chief is Aquaman. Keep that in mind.
So Aquaman, I told him after he shaved with the butter, that Irish butter. I'm like, dude, Zingari man's not looking too good right now because you nicked yourself one time with the butter. So
that's a good point. That's
man,
a good point. So he used the butter from the supermarket, and he only had like one weeper, and then he had like 3 or 4 with the Zingari. So that wasn't a good outing. Now, to be fair, he was trying to speed shave in the Zingari video. So we have to caveat that he was trying to speed shave, but it still ended up being 20 minutes. I don't know if that's a speed shave. I'm cracking on him, and I deserve what he's going to give me back, too. I'll just say that. And honestly, I'm having fun with it because this friendly rivalry is similar to the things we used to have in the past, where we had Ray Pope and the Stallion, and we're just having fun. I'm enjoying the Chief. I loved his video this morning where he called me out, and I thought it was fun, and I've retorted it. And so we're just having fun. So no one should take seriously or say, "Oh, those two guys really hate each other," but give your take.
I just really hope Chief gets better at shaving with a straight razor because it's rough. It's rough. He's gonna be weird once he starts wrinkling and gets aging, and then you match it up with all those scars. He's gonna be tough to look at after 20 years of this shit. So I hope he gets better for his own well-being. He's gonna be an ugly old man.
Well, he probably does have that Aquaman, power of rejuvenation going for him, I would say, being one, a member of the Super Friends. I will say that, look, in the video that we were talking about, he was trying to speed shave. So, I mean, and he was rushing, and he said he was rushing. So I think it's important to note that. I always want to be fair, and we're just having fun with the Chief. But he came back with the butter the next day, and he really did have a better outing. Is that fair to say that he had a better outing with the butter than the Zingari?
Oh, he had a spectacular outing with the butter. He may just want to stick with it. I'm sorry, just for the sake of his white blood cells being overworked, he might want to just stick to butter.
So are you saying that basically it undid his argument about the high quality products providing more protection?
I think he shot himself in the foot with that one. I think it made it real tough for him to make the argument.
So do you really think that, on a serious note, so we're having fun with the Chief, but does a high quality soap, let's say a $6 an ounce soap with the Super Blue Emu, Chupacabra oil and all that stuff, does it give you quarter, whereas maybe something like Sterling that's a value soap doesn't give you?
Well, I think Sterling is a very rare soap. At that price point, it's still one of the better soaps, period, on the market. Just my opinion. Yeah. I don't think any other soap in that price point matches up with Sterling. So it's kind of it's a unique animal in itself. So no, if you compare some of the upper echelon of soaps, do they give you much more than what you need from Sterling? No, I wouldn't say so. What they do is kind of improve the general experience. Maybe a little bit of a denser lather, that's what you like. Maybe a little bit stronger scent. But in terms of what you need for a shave, Sterling gives you absolutely everything you need.
Right. I agree. Sterling is one of those soaps. I just used it this week, and actually I was blown away by the lather. It was super creamy, and I was like, wow, I can't believe how good this is. It's still this. I don't know if Sterling's ever reformulated, and if they have, they probably haven't told us. Maybe years ago. I know they did some stuff early on when they had the sort of the scent issue, the tallow sort of odor. But really, they have sort of gone against the grain insofar as they've resisted the temptation to reformulate and give you less product and charge you more per ounce, which I'm always going to be a fan of Sterling on that basis because they just keep moving. They just keep plugging, never quit. Like they're like the Rocky Balboa. Like they keep swinging. Like no matter who the opponent is, they might get knocked down a few times. They get back up. They're still swinging.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been solid forever, and it's cool to see. It's cool to see them stick to their gun.
By the way, the Chief and Jack does a show called Against the Grain. I don't know when that airs or what time, so you guys can put it below if you
Is
would
it
like.
isn't it the Real Talk after show? Isn't it like our post show?
I've never caught it. I would like to catch it, but I think they do it. Is it during the week? You guys tell me because I'm not sure off the top of my head. Let me know when you do the show so we can talk a little bit about that. So back on the topic, but do you think that you can make up for a little bit sloppy technique if you have a better quality soap? Does it give you an edge, like even incremental? My perspective is once you get to a certain point, once your lather is dialed in with a good soap, it becomes a certain level of slickness. Some people believe in cushion, some do not. That's a topic we could debate all day and night. But I think once you get to a certain point, anything after that is just minute and incremental, so much so that I don't know it's going to make much difference.
I'm actually somebody that does believe in cushion. I think cushion is very
Well, explain
valuable.
what cushion is.
Well, for me, cushion is when you feel it, it's almost like that protective layer between your skin and the razor blade. How much of that soap is actually almost coating the skin?
Mm-hmm.
And there's tallow soaps, I think generally speaking, do a little bit better of a job having that cushion or leaving kind of like that leftover cushion in between the skin and the skin and the razor blade. But yeah, it's just kind of what it says. It gives you kind of like almost like a bumper, a little layer in between the blade and the skin.
So another question, and this sort of follows up on some of the other things we've been discussing. Have we gotten, both consumers, content creators, people who write blogs, people who write written reviews, have we gotten too close to the artisans and vendors, so close that we can no longer be objective, or it sort of gets in the way of being an objective? Now I want to give everybody an example. I'm going to use Peter Charkalis because I use him often as an example. I've broken bread with Peter Charkalis. I've known him for many years. We were hobbyists together. We've had many conversations and many laughs. I don't hesitate to point something out that I don't like about the Shavers Shop Club. When I talked about shipping, when I talked about things not on the label, I just used Revolution the other day. I talked about not liking the scent. I separate my relationship with Peter Charkalis from the business. And I never intend to hurt people. Peter, do I intend to hurt him? No. But I feel like, especially if you're a content creator, or if you're someone who's doing written reviews, or if you're someone who is reviewing anything for any reason, that you have to be objective, because the point of doing this is so people can watch and sort of take your point of view into consideration. How do you feel? Do you think maybe the line has been crossed, whereas we're seeing, content creators that are so close with artisans that it's difficult to separate them.
We definitely see that. We definitely see content creators that are so close with certain artisans, they allow them to get away with things that they probably wouldn't accept from other people. And just by the way, the soap that Peter released today, that fucking artwork is disgusting. It's hideous. I hate it. I wish it. I hope to never see it again. I'm not even gonna watch a review of anybody that bought that goddamn thing because I don't want to see that label ever again in my life. It's fucking hideous.
Okay, so
But yeah, we do. But it does happen. We do get so close to these people that we shy away from criticizing them when we probably should.
let's talk about that release, because Peter Charkalis in the Shaving Shop Club just released, what's it called, Under the Sea or something like that. I think it's an aquatic.
Ugly as shit. That's what I call it.
Okay, so I love aquatics, and initially when I saw that artwork, it wasn't for me. I thought it was reminiscent of Pantaray, that style of artwork. It's not my sort of artwork. However, as I've been looking at it, it's growing on me, and I think it's because I like stuff that's blue. Like it's growing. It's growing on me. Excuse me. Need a little elixir here. You don't like it?
No, it's ugly. There's no amount of those magic elixirs that you'd be able to feed me that I'll say that looks good. Chris, you scared me, bro. Back in your day, you must have took some ugly chicks home from the bar after a few drinks. Good God, bro, that's ugly.
You saw do you think that the dude of shavings picture that he posted on Instagram earlier was an improvement?
Yes, it absolutely is. I would buy the soap with our faces on it. I would. That's probably very vain of me, but yes, with our faces on it, I would.
Maybe when I do a video with that, I'll put the faces on it, or I'll use Junior's logo or his meme so we can. I honestly, when I first saw it, I thought, oh no, because Pantaray is just, the artwork style is not for me. But as I've been looking at it, I'm just warming up to it. I'm like, you know what? It's kind of different. It's not what you see every day. Now, I want to say this. If Peter starts doing this every single time, and this becomes the standard, then I'm not going to like it. I mean, I just think that
I would hope. No, you can't have it both ways, Chris. You can't say you like this ugly fucking label, and then you're gonna hate the fucking 10th ugly label.
It's growing on me.
Oh man, I can't with that label. That label totally ruined.
Let me ask you this.
Soap.
That brings up a good question. Would you avoid buying a soap because the label is so bad?
Yes, absolutely. I absolutely would. I didn't even attempt to buy this one. It's probably fucking sold out, like all his first releases do. I didn't even attempt to buy it because there's no way I want that goddamn soap. That one is ridiculously ugly.
Conversely, would you buy a soap because of the label?
Well, I did that with Moon soaps. You guys have been hearing me rant and rave about Moon soaps for the last two and a half months. I absolutely fell in love with them. But what initially caught my eye was the labels. I knew nothing about them. I had never seen a single review on them. I just bought them because the labels were dope. And then it just kind of went on from there that I have a real love affair with that soap.
Right. What are your picks of the week? What are the picks of the last couple of weeks? Your favorite things that impressed you, things that, really stood out?
So the thing that really stood out for me this week is this brush right here. This is from a company called Viking Soap.
Good looking brush.
A lot of these brushes, you'll see them on sale for $150 to $200 just for the handle. It's that hybrid material, stabilized wood and acrylic. This brush right here at a shocking $85. A shocking $85 for the handle.
It's good looking brush.
It's one of the best values I've ever gotten in shaving. It's just incredible. Nobody makes brushes like this that is that affordable. And I threw in a knot that I already knew that I loved. I got this from Strike Gold Shave. The Hair Force 1 knot's fucking fantastic. But it's just absolutely amazing that this brush cost me $85. It's unheard of with these hybrid blends. So super thrilled by this. Shout out to Viking Soaps. I hope more people give them some business because it's just fucking beautiful, dude. I just love everything about this.
I don't want to step in on it, but since you mentioned Moon, I was very impressed with Moon. What was the name of that soap? Sorrento? Was that what it was called? Very nice
Yeah,
soap,
Sorrento.
very nice quality, nice citrus blast. I really enjoyed that. I have ordered another one from West Coast, and I'm looking forward to it. Moon soaps, to me, it's just one of those. I really love the labels. I love their artwork. It's not too much. It's not too simple. It's really, really nice. And the one thing I want to say is I had a message from Moon Soaps after I used the soap, just thanking me, just reaching out and being nice. And I really appreciate that. I appreciate the artisans who are paying attention, who are showing respect for their product. They're reaching out. I appreciate the folks like Highland Springs, who always have a kind word to say. They're always supporting people, and I'm going to redouble my efforts to do business with companies who stand out in that regard. Because let's be honest, the soaps are great today. I mean, almost everybody makes a great soap. And so I think it's really important to try to support the people that does business in a way that you really enjoy, or at least that's my feeling. And my experience with Moon has been, although limited, very, very good. And I mentioned Highland Spring just because when they saw our show coming up, they sent a private message just with a thumbs up. And to me, it means a lot that they're paying attention. They're engaged in the hobby. They're just not selling something. They're in the hobby, watching what people are doing. And I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I don't like supporting companies that just appear to be just about the money. I like to support people that really immerse themselves into the community. So I
So
enjoy it.
did you have any other picks? Was that the one?
That's the one because the soaps that I use today, I use Highland Spring today, which was fantastic. I do probably have to if I have to pick one more, the new base from Strike Gold Shake. Um, I was really, really impressed with this base. It's really
So
good.
a quick update on that. Frank did reach out to me yesterday and asked if I would like to try it, and I said yes. So I have not tried their soaps for a long, long time ago, so I'll be trying that. And I assume, based on what everybody said, the a citrus type soap, I think I will probably enjoy that.
It's a citrusy cologne scent. I imagine you'll like it. And dude, I'm just telling you, this base, it was shockingly good, dude. It was really, really good. It's very seldomly that I get like really like kicked with the soap base. Zingari, when I tried them for the first time earlier this year, they were one of those soap
Hmm.
bases that really like, I was like, wow, this is good. This is another soap base that I was just like, well, shit, this is really, really good.
By the way, somebody's in here that says Colonel Conk products. I was just seeing that, and I used Colonel Conk just maybe a month or two ago, and it was just one of those little round pucks, and it worked great. It worked great. I mean, I had no problems whatsoever. And I just thought it's impressive that a little bitty puck, and it's not remarkable in terms of ingredients. It worked very well, I must say. So if that's
Oh, dude,
actually someone from Colonel Conk, it works, man.
Dude, glycerin base soaps are great. I used to use a lot of glycerin base soaps when I first started out. Never had a problem with them.
No,
Yeah,
I think they
they don't
have.
have all the bells and whistles and stuff in terms of the post shave, but they're fantastic.
I think this one just it wasn't glycerin alone. It had some other stuff in it, so it was working well. So let me give you my pick. My pick is Sub Commander Vision, and the reason is this is $2.50 an ounce, and I used it yesterday or the day before, and it was incredibly slick. Like I was running my finger, and I was like, "Wow, this stuff is slick." And you had just mentioned that it was slick. It lathered well, and also they have a splash. It's the first time I've ever used a splash. I tested this soap when it first came out, before they were actually selling soap. I don't know, maybe 7 years ago. Myself and a guy named Brian Sharp and a few other people, and it was this scent. I'm pretty sure. So this, to me, it has sentimental value. But I was surprised at the price, how well that this performed. I mean, this really is a very, very decent soap at the price. And I was saying, I think, throughout that video that this is really all you need, like in terms of getting a good shave. And the splash I really liked. And it's got this really weird rubbery sort of coating on the bottle that I just really enjoyed it. So I just wanted to mention that these companies like the Soap Commander that's been around for a long time, you should not ignore these companies, because you can get a very decent product at a very decent price. You don't have to spend $5 or $6 an ounce to get a great shave. You just don't.
I've tried. Much like yourself. I've tried a couple hundred soaps at least in my time here, and I've always said it. I've said it probably in a dozen videos or more. Soap Commander is one of the slickest soaps I've ever used, if not the slickest. It's just an awesome performing soap. I will say it doesn't have the weight to the lather that I enjoy now as I progress as a shaver. But the slickness, it's fantastic.
Also, I want to mention this book is by Carrie of Soap Commander, which is basically how to make shaving soap. This is available on Amazon. For anyone who just wants to learn the ropes of basic soap making, and there is 10 recipes in here. Again, this is available on Amazon for maybe a hobbyist who wants to try his hand, and it's a good basic guide on soap making. It covers a lot of different things, and so I've had this since the time it came out, and I thought I would bring it out today and just let people know. If you're really upset, if you're that upset to where you're being triggered over not getting these soaps, make your own soap. I mean, just grab the book, make your soap. Maybe you're successful. Maybe you start a new business. I mean, you never know what can happen, because a lot of people that fell into soap making never intended to do it as a business.
Yeah, just do it. I encourage it. I don't believe in that oversaturation of the community. The more soap makers, the better. I just hope we continue to have more soap makers to come in and make soaps that are $20 or less. Because I'm not the upper echelon soaps. I'll spend up to $25. Anybody else, I'm not even gonna give you a look. $20 or below. Hey,
So
my daughter's in the comment section. Hi, Vanessa. Love you, babe.
Hello, Vanessa. Wrapping up here, what would you like to end with today? You have anything to plug? Anything you want to end with?
Guys, I've seen some old school people in the comments. Stop saying that you don't like drama or you don't want to see drama in the shave community. Some of you
We
guys
should
were
save that for the next show, but go ahead.
You guys were in the fucking comments the whole time. You love the drama. You wouldn't, if you didn't like seeing the drama, you wouldn't have fucking stayed the whole hour. Shut the fuck up, enjoy the show, and admit that you like seeing the train wrecks. Stop stop being that fucking guy that, oh, fuck this drama, and then you're there for the whole fucking thing. Don't be a hypocrite.
Yeah, let's be honest. Nobody wants to be involved in drama, but most everybody likes to witness drama, because when somebody makes a video or writes a written review or does anything that's salty, people swarm to it. Like, you can see it in the analytics. Nobody wants to be a participant, but everybody wants to see it. You can see that when you're driving down the highway and you're backed up in traffic. It's all because people are looking at the train wreck. And let's be honest, it happens, and people enjoy it. They just don't want to participate in it. I don't either, really. I don't want to participate, but sometimes we enjoy watching what transpires. Anything to plug before we wrap?
Hey guys, for any of you guys that are unfamiliar with myself, follow me on YouTube, SoSharpDavid. I appreciate the subs. Hopefully you guys will enjoy the content. Check out Against the Grain. I don't know when the fuck they are. Hopefully they'll post some posters on that stuff. Hey dude, and just try to be good to each other, man. We could have fun. We could fucking like all the drama and seeing all that shit, man. But just love one another, dude. We're a family, and once all this fucking coronavirus shit stops, meetups are gonna start up again, man. We got to make sure these relationships keep building.
Well, I would just like to say I appreciate each and every one of you for watching. It means a lot. I thank you. I hope you get something out of this, and I hope we're being balanced. We sort of have two separate styles, and we're together for that reason. So I hope you appreciate it. I want to say to each one of you, God bless. And until next time, it's your shave. Do it your way, but be kind.